Hi there, Mr. Evans here with this video on stakeholder needs, looking at stakeholder needs and specifically where there may be overlap and conflict of needs between different stakeholders. So just a quick recap from a previous slide. I've got a list of stakeholders here, explanation of who they are and the different needs that each stakeholder group has. And there are different needs for different stakeholders. So just to put this in a bit of context then, hopefully it'll make a bit more sense. I did a previous video looking at the issues around the steelworks in Port Talbot, how the parent company Tata wanted to sell the steelworks to a rival. Basically, that was Tata wanted out, and the employees and the local community and central government all very concerned about the impact that would have, particularly if the steelworks were to close. So just looking at that situation and how that played out, one of the stakeholders was employees. They had overlapping needs with the local community. The local community wanted the steelworks to stay in the area because it created jobs, created wealth for people. The workers from the steelworks would then go out and spend money in the local community. Equally, the suppliers of the business relied on that business or rely on the steelworks for their revenue, and therefore employees, local communities and suppliers were all able to come together and form an alliance because they all wanted the same thing. Their needs were overlapping. Whereas the shareholders of Tata would have their main priority is their dividend payment, that they're operating a profitable company, the business isn't a charity, and they may have had conflicting needs to the other groups, and therefore conflict could arise. Just one more example: the directors of Tata, the parent company, the people who are looking after the steel business day to day, they probably have performance targets in terms of profitability. They want the long-term survival of the business, and therefore they've got overlapping needs with shareholders, but their needs conflict with those of the UK central government, who need employment and need prosperity, particularly in kind of the South Wales region, where that's a big employer after lots of the mines shut down. So just putting it in a bit of context there. Here's some other examples about where conflict can arise between stakeholders. Maybe customers want longer opening hours within a business. Employees, would probably want most of the time to be working fairly standard hours so they can maintain a life with their families. Therefore, businesses need to pay workers overtime to work the antisocial hours, and there can be conflict between customers, employees, between what they need from an organisation. Owners, the shareholders versus the managers, the people who are running the business day to day. The shareholders, managers want to be paid dividends. Managers might be more concerned with long-term profitability. They're in the business for the long haul. Not all shareholders are interested in short-term gains, but they would want a dividend payment year to year. Managers may be more incentivised to try and keep that money within the firm to reinvest and to improve the business in the long term. Finally, the local community and suppliers, which may come into conflict because of the time that suppliers make deliveries and the noise disruption that causes. So just some examples there about how stakeholder needs can be contrasting and lead to conflict, but also some examples where they can overlap. Just one final point which I made in the first video I did on stakeholders, that it's worth remembering that we're putting all employees together in one block here, all customers together in one block. And in reality, that's, not all employees will feel the same way about change. Not all customers will feel the same way. So it's worth just remembering that point. If that's going to be relevant in answering an exam question where stakeholder needs is relevant.